Welcome back to the Worst Home Show. This is episode 10. We're out here at the beautiful University Christian Complex. You can see behind us. We're on the field right in front of the first base side. Pretty nice weather out here.
Yeah, it feels good outside.
You know what? You know what I've
today.
noticed? It hasn't rained at all. Like it hasn't rained in a while. I feel like.
It actually also hasn't rained once since
Yeah.
we've done
Why are we saying that right
one
now?
game.
I thought of that.
Not one game we've been to for pictures or
For video.
For video
Hasn't
filming the
rained
game.
yet.
It hasn't rained one
We
time.
probably shouldn't have
That's
said
kind of
that.
crazy.
But,
I feel like it hasn't rained a lot this year. Like
yeah,
usually,
it really hasn't.
usually there's a couple games that get rained out, but I feel like a lot of teams have
Yeah,
that issue.
we haven't had a. No, we haven't had a rained out game. It's been really windy. I feel like most games I've played in, it's been windy. But that's different everywhere in Jacksonville.
Yeah. And then, you guys are kind of close. Are you close to the water?
Close
Somewhat.
to the river.
Well, yeah, it's the water.
Yeah, so you're right. We got a good show coming up. We're gonna announce a first and second team Gage put out.
Well, we both did this.
Yeah, we both did it.
Don't put all of it on me.
Gage helped me a bit last night. The stats that we'll say of the players are from yesterday and behind that.
They're current, but we kind of wanted to do this
For a while.
Last week at the end of the year, but we kind of just pushed it back because we had some things we were already going over last show. So
Yes,
we pushed it back.
To this, so we have some things to talk about. We'll talk about the district winners that happened last week on Thursday night. We'll go over some rankings. We'll kind of do a little comparison of our preseason rankings to our final rankings that we had, and kind of see in what teams stayed on there and what teams left. We'll talk about some regional games that are happening this week. Mostly everyone in Jacksonville. I'll pretty much say 1 to 7A. But yeah, it's gonna be a good episode. At the end, we'll be joined in here with Calvin Orth, head coach of University Christian. We'll talk about him. Talk about the season. What's it like being a head coach on his second or third year? It's gonna be a good show.
Yeah, and like we said, we're looking to come out to more fields. We had a couple people text us.
Yeah.
About opportunities maybe next week that we can have throughout the baseball season.
A couple fields we can go to next week.
Holy crap!
Gotta figure it out. It's getting a little windy here.
I'll fix
It's all right. No rain though.
No rain.
Just bring out the wind,
which is all good.
That's good.
Got my phone going off. Got things blowing around in the wind.
Yeah, me too, dude. I guess we're just famous.
Yeah. All right.
First and second team.
Yeah, we want to get into this.
I'll name the first team and then
it's kind of hard to
yeah, it's really hard
choose between. There's a bunch of people as we were going over this. So obviously we kind of picked the format out. We have a catcher for each team, a first baseman, 3 infielders, 3 outfielders, and 3 pitchers.
Yeah.
We were thinking about adding just an extra hitter slot because there's so many people who have put up good numbers throughout the season that just we couldn't find a place for on the teams.
Yeah,
so,
this was pretty difficult. You got to go through
every
team.
I mean, it's
finding stats,
finding every school. Look at that, every school in Jacksonville. We couldn't find a way to find the stat leaders for each stat.
On Max Preps, we couldn't find that.
We literally had to go through
every
team. We hope we didn't miss one.
Yeah.
If we did, sorry. If you have better numbers than the people we listed,
message us. We'll talk about it.
We'll give you a shout out or something.
Give you a shout out next episode. But anyways. This is all the stats was off of Max Preps, so that's where we got all that from. So first team catcher, we'll put out a graphic on our Instagram sometime this week of the first and second teams. We didn't have time to do that last night, so we're just gonna name it off. Catcher Connor Balazic over at Creekside batted .493 with 4 home runs. That's a sophomore.
Yeah, it's a crazy year from Connor. We mentioned his stats before.
Yeah. And
I think he led the city in average.
Yeah,
maybe there was a couple.
I think he did. Might have led the city in average.
I know we've seen some schools that they really don't play. One, they don't play enough games. 2, they don't have all their stats in there.
Yeah, that's true.
So
some teams have 5 games in there, so
it's
kind of hard to figure all that out.
But yeah, great year for Connor.
First baseman Cody Boschel over at Bishop Snyder. He batted .338 with 9 homers. I think he led the city in homers.
And I think this guy was second, following up after him.
Yeah, and then we got Bryson Harnage here at his home field. University Christian batted .434 with 7 home runs.
Which
if you look behind us, this is a pretty big park.
especially out to right field,
Especially
because
right
if
center.
you guys have been out to UC's field,
Got a football field out
I
there.
mean, that's
in the middle.
probably, dude, if
That's
you
a
look
long
back
ways.
at that gate out there, when we walked in out and right center, that looks a
400.
good bit over 400.
Yeah, that's a
That
long
looks pretty
ways.
far out there.
Which I'm not sure how many hit here. But,
Yeah, that's true. Is he right? He's right-handed.
yeah, he's a right-handed hitter.
I can't imagine many lefties. It's deep to left, kind of shorter to right, maybe. Looks a little shorter to right.
Good season for him. They had some good 2 wins last night, which we'll talk about later on. And then infielder Dalton Tibbetts over at Atlantic Coast. He batted .427 with a home run. Which is pretty solid.
And his counterpart.
And then his buddy Noah Pergencio. He batted .425 with a home run. Both go to Atlantic Coast. Great year for them, which is great for Atlantic Coast to have 2 guys batting over 400 like that.
And I don't remember exactly the position they play, but if they're playing second and short, that might be the best middle infield duo in the city.
In the city, yeah. And then we got outfielder Brady Harris, batted .400 with 2 home runs, which he's been in and out a little bit. I think he missed a couple games due to injury. It's been the DH a little bit throughout the season. They had a close one last night.
Yeah, they did.
We'll go over that too. Outfitter TJ Sunderhouse at St. John's Country Day, batted .414 with 5 home runs. I want to say maybe 3 or 4 at St. John's, which cool. Outfitter batted .425, 6 home runs, which that's a solid amount. We have a 9, 7, and a 6.
Yeah. I think those are the 3 highest in Jacksonville.
I agree.
Unless we missed something.
And then the last 3 pitchers here, we got Braden Harris, .60 ERA.
Yeah, great year.
58.2 innings, 116 Ks.
Braden was at one point leading Florida in strikeouts. I don't know
I
if
think the nation. He
wasn't
Florida.
leading nation.
He was leading Florida.
It's because I remember
some other
guys had like a crazy more amount of innings than him.
Games
too.
Which other states have
they play more
games.
The season might have started earlier. They get more reps in. We got some of the Jacksonville Sharks out here.
Walking behind us.
They practice
over here at the football field.
Yeah, the turf out here at UC. So
pretty cool stuff.
Chan's easily distracted.
Yeah, I get distracted easily. The other pitcher, Aaron Watson, over at Trinity Christian, .72 ERA, 58 innings pitched, 101 strikeouts.
I think Braden and Aaron, I think most people could say that's probably the 2 best pitchers in
I agree.
Right now in the city. Aaron topped out at 97 last night. I've seen him post that.
Through all 7 innings, I believe it was.
Yeah, crazy for him.
Which he's a senior this year. Talks about the draft.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool for him, and
it's cool.
If he stays healthy, his life will change here in the summer.
Very exciting for him. And then I think this next guy is probably one of the more underrated pitchers. I feel like he doesn't get talked about enough. I know we haven't mentioned him much at all this season, or Episcopal really.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Pitcher Dominic De Loreto pitched last night. .93 ERA, 68 innings pitched, and 112 strikeouts. Which last night, we'll kind of go over this a little bit more of their. It's our game of the week. So we're tracking the first game, going to the second game, which is tonight.
Yeah, I mean, 68 innings. If you look at Braden and Aaron, they're usually someone who's throwing complete games a lot, and they have 58. So I wonder how many complete games he's been throwing.
Yeah, it's good. We'll have to check that, how many games he's been through. Because that one game we went through, when they played Bowls, I think he went four innings.
Yeah, he must have been, almost every game, I'd imagine. Other than that, has to be.
So last night, they played Providence. 7 innings pitched, let up 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 walks, and 13 strikeouts. 98 pitches in 7 innings. That's pretty solid.
Especially 13 strikeouts, 4 walks.
That's good stuff. That was the first team. We did this all, so the stats were all from yesterday and before that. And then the second team was kind of hard because a lot of people had
had
an
really
average
hard.
close.
I think most people could say the first team, those guys deserve either to be on the first or second team.
Yeah,
either
for
or.
sure.
And I think it doesn't really matter whether you're first or second team. We're just acknowledging guys who played
guys that
good,
had a great year.
Yeah, great year this year. But yeah, second team was really hard.
Yeah, second team was a bit of a struggle.
So we have Catcher from Bulls, Gabe Gonzalez, who batted 386 with 4 bombs, and we're going through this. There's a bunch of catchers out there that put up good numbers
Yeah,
in high
J.C.
school.
Rosette at Clay.
Yeah.
He's having a great year too.
Didn't he?
He hit a walk-off
Yeah,
home
we'll
run last
talk
night
a little
against
bit about that.
Bishop Kenny.
Then we have our very own UC, Caden Warbington at first base, who batted 438 with 3 home runs. A good year from him. 438 is good average, and then you also have 3 home runs as well.
Yeah, he's great on the mound as well.
Yeah,
UC's one of UC's best pitcher. Same as Cody Bichelle. I forgot to mention that on the first team. Great dude on the mound, committed to Tennessee. We got the first base spot in the first team.
Yeah, and then we have in the infield we have Bulls again with Denzel DeValley, who batted 372. I think he plays second base over there at Bulls. He had a great year, and also his teammate is it Jackson
Geist.
Yeah, he had a good year too. They had very similar stats. Give him a mention. For Bishop Snyder in the infield, we have Trip Hanna, Oklahoma State commit, who batted 383. I think he led Bishop Snyder in average at 383.
I think so. Yeah.
You obviously had Cody over there, and then they have a couple other hitters as well.
Yeah.
Hit pretty well. And then your buddy over there at St. John's in the infield for the second team, Preston Cole, who batted 380 with 6 bombs. So this is the most, or we have another one with 6 bombs, but 6 bombs still makes the second team.
Yeah.
380.
It's
good average.
Yeah,
I know he hit one last night, didn't he?
Yeah, he hit a bomb last night. Yeah.
Then we have Iowa commit for Providence, Luke Manderson, who batted 338 with 6 home runs.
Yeah.
Good year for Luke. I think he was their best hitter.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think they played Bishop Snyder. I think in the semifinals of districts, I believe, somewhere last week. He hit 2 bombs against them, which is his former team. So that was pretty cool for him.
Yeah, good time to be hot too.
Yeah.
Then you have outfielder Gage Petrutz for Trinity, Alabama commit, batted 357 with 2 bombs, and also Aiden Arnett, we give him a shout out as well. He batted like 356 or something.
In the bubble too.
Yeah, right around there. Gage just had 2 home runs, so we gave him the spot in the second team. And then Mandarin, last outfielder we have John Brooks, who batted 392.
Yeah.
He got really hot.
Really hot
in
the middle
struggled.
To the end. Yeah, struggled in.
You were
in
telling
the
me about that a little bit. He struggled to start the year off.
He found it, and he's had a great year, which their season ended first round of district. So good season for him. He still has his senior year left, and hopefully he does better.
Yeah. And then for the pitchers for the second team, we have Florida commit Ethan Wheeler over at Trinity, who pitched 48 and 2/3 innings, 65 strikeouts, and posted a 1.73 ERA. Good year from Ethan, really. Then we have Gavin Dupre, Creekside pitcher, 1.01 ERA over 45 and 1/3 innings, 51 strikeouts. They have a bunch of good pitchers over there.
Yeah, they do. Matthew Bysham, he was also up there in the bubble as well.
Right there. Kind of had debate over that. And then over at First Coast, Hayden Carnes, 1.09 ERA, 51 and 1/3 innings, 90 strikeouts. Almost 2 strikeouts an inning for Hayden. He's been doing really good over there. Another hitter too.
Yeah, you actually watched him.
Yeah, we did. We've mentioned this a couple times, I think.
I think we mentioned it when we watched him when they played Mandarin.
Yeah, he did.
He had a bomb that game too.
Threw a complete game as well.
So that's first and second team there. Good stuff. It was kind of tough to do last night going through everything, but
yeah,
we did it. We'll post a graphic and so you guys can hopefully repost that for the guys that are on it. Good stuff. But now I want to pull up the rankings that you put out this season. So the first preseason rankings, as Gage said, it's kind of like you're not real sure.
Yeah.
You're pretty much just looking at the roster, the team they have. Really comes down to pitching.
Yeah.
When you're looking at those preseason rankings, to see what those guys can do on the mound. So it's Trinity Christian was first, St. John's was second, Bishop Snyder to third, Providence 4, Creekside 5, and then the last rankings you put out was Trinity Christian 1, Bishop Snyder 2, St. John's 3, Creekside 4, Bulls 5. Which,
pretty close.
Yeah, it was really close. 4 of the same guys.
If Providence kind of finished the year a little bit better,
yeah,
top 5 would have been same top 5 as last time, maybe different order. As we can see, Trinity was by far, I think,
the best
number 1 team throughout the season.
I agree
as most
with that,
people expected them to be.
But that Bulls Bowles being at the spot, we had a back and forth with Episcopal, and then they
Yeah.
played that night, and Episcopal got that one. So
They did.
maybe Episcopal should have got that spot, but that was before the game. It was good stuff. What team do you think? This is a question for you. What team do you think that kind of showed out this year that you didn't really expect, or some team that underperformed that you didn't expect?
Well, I think Fernandina Beach had a really good year.
Yeah.
I know they were what, like 15, or maybe not 12, 13 and 0, something like that. Crazy. They had a really good year. We mentioned them once in the rankings, and they kind of lost a little bit, so we kind of took them out. I think Episcopal was pretty good. I know they were maybe not. Because if you look at the district, you have Trinity, Providence, Bowles, Bishop Snyder,
and everyone in that pretty much everyone in that district
is pretty good.
Made
I think
the regionals too.
Going into the year, they might have been the team that was maybe. I don't know if I would say I put them last out of those teams, but I mean we had Trinity and Providence and Snyder in the top 5. So then it's really between Bowles and Episcopal. And Episcopal, right now, they're battling for I think the second or third team.
Yeah.
If we rank them right now in that
I agree. Yeah.
in that area, so I think Episcopal performed really well. They got a good pitching staff there, and I think they're coached pretty well too.
Yeah.
But
I think Providence kind of started off really good.
Yeah, they were there.
Then they had some injuries, and they kind of fell down.
Yeah, recently they've struggled a lot. I think
pitching is really what matters. What you see in this 3-game series that we'll ask Coach Calvin about, kind of his opinion, as we ask every coach that comes on, his opinion on it. And you need pitching for this 3-game series, especially if you get to that 3rd game. Most teams will be throwing positional guys in that 3rd game, because their depth isn't that well. There's a few teams that have pitchers for every single game. They could play 4 games and have a starter for each 4 games.
Yeah.
But that's not every school.
I think that goes into the rankings a little bit too. Why we have certain teams, maybe like a Creekside, they're at 4th. They're a team that they're 4th, but they could really perform in a 3-game series. If you're ranking them against John's, their pitching is better than some other teams when it comes to that. They have 3 starters who they can run out there. So they, like in a 3-game series, you might rank them higher than someone else on the list. But it'll be interesting to watch.
Turquoise had a good season.
Yeah, they really have
we've been
too.
watching them.
Trying to think who else. I would have liked to seen Oakleaf perform a little better. I know Matt Carter. He's a really good coach.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets some of the credit he might deserve. And how well he coaches over there, and they have a good group of seniors. We were looking at their stats. JP
Espinoza, he was up there in the bubble for
a great year.
The 2nd team as
Jeter
well.
Farina had a great year. And it's just, I think they just lost some games they maybe shouldn't have lost, or whatever.
They had some close games.
Good group of seniors though.
Good opponents. Trinity had a close game with Trinity. Who else? We think? I had one. I lost it.
Inglewood started the year really good too.
Yeah, Baldwin kind of started the year off pretty good,
and
then they found a stretch with some difficult teams.
Yeah.
I know they lost last night to Swanee.
It's interesting because I played 2 years ago, so I was kind of like paid attention. I guess somewhat. I didn't really pay attention that much to it. I feel like I pay attention more to it now. Obviously, this is like not my job, but I do pay attention to it. I like doing it with you, watching the teams throughout the year and kind of like gauging their performances and how well they think they're doing, and even talking to some of the coaches or players and kind of getting into their minds a little bit about the season. It's interesting and it's cool to track it over the full year. I've never done this before.
Yeah, so question for you, then we'll go on a break. Talk about some regionals and some district winners. Then we'll have Coach Calvin on. 3-game series, you're the head coach for the team, all right? Who are you throwing your best pitcher against? Game 1, Game 2, Game 3?
Well, I think you're throwing your best pitcher Game 1 because this is a big confidence boost.
Yeah.
If you get the win and that's your guy, you're gonna want to throw him first, no matter what. You're gonna want him to go as long as you can and save as many pitchers as possible.
Yeah.
But I think the real question is, if you're losing Game 1, say you're down 2 or 3 runs going into like the 7th inning, or let's say 6th inning, because 7th you can throw an inning and still be fine to throw again. Or maybe even the 5th inning, you're down 3 or 4 runs, are you running your next best pitcher out there to try and keep you in the game and steal a game that you're not supposed to win? You have to go make something happen to win, or are you going all in on game 2 now, and saving him for game 2?
I'd say you save him for game 2. That's just like if I was a coach in my starter, the best pitcher was throwing game 1. Um, the first inning he struggles, lets up like 4 or 5 runs, and he's at like 30 pitches. I think I would pull him and save him for maybe to close out the second game or start the third game if that happens.
I think that as well. I think maybe something that I've kind of experienced in high school, really yeah, I guess high school you could say, is I think coaches need to have have less of a leash. Am I saying that right?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Like where you pull pitchers quicker. There needs to be
yeah, I agree.
less leash,
I
right?
think some coaches do leave pitchers in too long.
I agree with that. I think that's just.
But I think that's every coach.
Especially now with the 3-game series, you gotta like, if someone's pitching bad, if you're losing already, I understand it. Like you just go out there telling the kid, look, we need you to get all of these innings, save a pitcher, save us from burning another arm. But if you're like the games you're winning or they're close, I really just you gotta pull kids. You can't let the game unravel on you. Lose a game that you can't afford to lose.
Yeah.
And especially you have more of a it's more lenient now, I guess, or you have more of a chance to recover with the 3-game series. But when it's just the 1 game in regionals or like districts, how it's just 1 game, then you gotta be.
We'll talk about it more. UC played their 2 games yesterday, which is a doubleheader at 12-3 against a team in the Niceville area, Rocky Bayou.
Mm-hmm.
Played their 2 games. They're in the semifinals now.
Yeah.
Now they have the rest of the week to practice the rest, which I think that's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
They have the rest of the week to rest, which is good.
Yeah.
We'll go on a break. We'll come back talking about district winners that happened last week on Thursday. And some teams that are in regionals competing in some of the games last night. If you guys are wanting to play at the next level, or even go to another school, North Florida showcases the design for high school, junior college, and transfer portal baseball players who want to showcase their skills in front of college coaches. These events also provide the latest metrics including batting exit velocity, throwing velocity, 60-yard dash times, and more. They're dedicated to helping players become prospective student athletes at the next level. Make sure you guys go check them out on Instagram and X. North Florida Showcases. Make sure you guys go check out Carry Apparel. Carry Apparel draws inspiration from positive quotes. On the website it says, in life we go through challenges. Sometimes athletes go through additional life challenges. Carry Apparel strives to keep individuals in a positive mindset. Be ready is the basis of their business. Always be ready because you never know when you are called upon and it's your turn to show your abilities. Be ready in everything you do, whether that's at school, work, or as an athlete. Always be ready. Make sure you guys go check them out on Instagram and check out their website, carryapparel.com. Covenant over Eagles View 1-0. Which Covenant, this is their first baseball season.
Yeah.
Brand new program over there. Bishop Kenny over Yulee, 3-2. And then they got Columbia, 8-2 over Ridgeview. And then Ponte Vedra 8-0 over Episcopal. Clay, 7-2 over Baker County. Trinity Christian, 5-1 over Bishop Snyder. And then St. John's, 4-1 over St. Joe's. Which I looked at that Trinity game. It looked like kind of both teams threw a lot of guys just to save them.
I didn't know Ponte Vedra and Episcopal were in the.
Yeah.
I thought Episcopal was in that same district,
I think.
I thought they were in the same district with Trinity and Bowles, and are they not?
It could have been.
They are.
I could have had it wrong.
Because they played. Remember Bowles and
Episcopal?
Episcopal?
It wasn't Episcopal. It was Inglewood.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I wrote it wrong.
I was about to say Episcopal was
Inglewood.
They played Bowles. And
Yeah, I just typed
a little
it wrong.
typo. Sorry. It's autocorrect.
It got a little late last night.
I think most of those teams were probably the favorite. Maybe Bishop Kenny winning over Yulee, kind of maybe an upset.
Yeah.
I don't know.
3-2 is close.
Bishop Kenny didn't really have a great year, but they're still in the postseason now.
Yeah.
Bernardino Beach was Was
That
that?
was a close game over West Nassau.
Yeah, they're pretty good this year though.
Yeah.
And I think everything else kind of expected from there.
Yeah, it was good stuff. This will be a shorter break, and then we'll have Coach on. Let's pull up the regionals.
Yeah.
Paul Simpson made this graphic. Shout out to him. 3 for 3 at the plate. Worthington 2 for 4 and a home run. Bryson Hardage 1 for 3 with a home run. Bo Wilson had 2 doubles. Mason McLeod had a double, and then El Brahim, I don't know his first name, starts with an L. Through the 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts for the Fighting Christians. Game 2, they had 10 hits. Another 5-inning game. Kind of looked like some guys off the bench went in that game, which is pretty cool for them to get into a game and a playoff atmosphere. Like 6 hours away. They had a drive there on Sunday, come back last night, and then they're now at school, that's a long day today.
Yeah, I bet they're pretty tired.
Yeah. Caden Warmington, another 3 for 4 game. Had a home run. And then Kay Hammond, 2 for 3 at the plate. Let's see. The pitcher, Elias Murdoch, 3 innings. He got the dub. 0 hits, 0 earned runs. It looks like they're trying to save his arm a little bit.
Is Caden hurt on the mound?
Yeah, I think someone said he has some arm issues going on.
Okay. I expected him to be
Yeah.
one of their pitchers. It's a tough blow for UC.
Yeah, I think, going into the semifinals.
Maybe he's can recover from. I don't know what his injury is. But
Murdoch, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Moffitt threw an inning, 1 hit, 1 walk. Miles Tyson, 1 inning and 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, 2 Ks. Which, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
For UC, let me pull up here who they possibly might play. Let's see. I know I screenshotted it. Let's see. They play the winner of St. Joe's and Christchurch.
I think if
Next
they, which you can go ahead and say, but St. Joe's won 7-0 last night against Christchurch.
Christchurch, St. Joe's, game 1, 7-0. You're right. St. Joe's won that one.
So
they play that second game tonight.
I think they expected to win against them
I think they
tonight, and then so we're most likely, unless Christchurch can win 2 more games, UC versus
St. Joe's.
St. Joe's.
Which I gotta see if they've played this year.
I'm not sure, but
came out 3-2, which that's a close game, even matchup.
Mhm. What are you looking at?
I thought someone was coming. That's a good game. We'll be out there tonight.
We talked a little bit about that. Dominic
Delarado
had a
7 innings, great game.
13 strikeouts.
Snyder at Keystone.
You put the wrong score. I think that game was. You can go ahead and talk about Bowles.
Yeah, Snyder at Keystone. I'll have the score.
You can talk about Bowles. I'll find the score.
Bowles at Bozeman. Bowles won that one 17-5. Game 2's tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Snyder at Keystone. I know Snyder
won. I know it was kind of. I think it was close at the beginning of the game. Let's see. It was 8-3, but I remember at the beginning of the game it being like 3-2.
Yeah, it was close.
Or actually, right here, Keystone was up 3-1 in the bottom of. After 3 innings,
Snyder came up with
Snyder
6.
put the 6th spot in the 4th, kind of break away from that game a little bit.
West Nassau at Fernandina Beach, game 1. Fernandina won that one 6-5. Another close game for West Nassau.
Yeah, and they played in the districts, right?
Yeah.
So that's they're pretty. I mean, West Nassau
2-1 game.
Lose one by one in district championship. Lose your home field advantage, and then lose one in game 1. They're probably biting their tongue a little bit. Which hopefully they can bounce back and stay focused.
Yeah. Paxton at West Florida. West Florida 8-2. Baldwin at Swanee. Swanee won that one 9-4. We got Bishop Kenny at Clay. Clay won 3-2 with a walk-off home run. I believe might have been in the 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
We were actually talking when that happened.
And then St. Aug at that.
Go ahead. Give it a shot.
It
looks like Chalk to watch. I've never heard of them. Owie.
I think you might unplug your mic.
There we go.
Good. Back in action. That team won 6-5. I wonder, and then all the 5A to 7A is going to play tonight, doubleheader, I believe. I wonder how many 3 games there's going to be out of all of
I
those
don't know
games.
because I really think that every team that won those games that you're just saying are the better team. If I had to predict, I think every team that was up 1-0 would win the series.
Yeah.
So maybe a couple of them go to what's it called?
Regional semifinals?
No, a couple of them go 3-game
Oh,
series.
3
But
games.
if you're looking, let's see the games that start today. I think that Mosley, Columbia. Let's see. I think Lincoln should be able to beat Ponte Vedra.
Yeah.
Lincoln's pretty good. I'm not sure about Mosley. Is Mosley
I'm not knowing much about them.
First Coast, and Buchholz.
I think Buchholz
Buchholz,
might have that one. They've had a good season.
Tacoy, I expect to win. Fletcher and Tate. I've never heard of Tate before.
Yeah, I haven't heard of Tate.
Atlantic Coast and Spruce Creek. I think Spruce Creek wins.
That'll be a close one.
You think so?
I
Yeah,
think so.
Atlantic Coast, if they got a good infield if they can
Yeah.
play well. And then Timber Creek, I've never heard of them playing Creekside.
I think they're pretty solid.
Timber Creek?
Yeah.
Oh, so
At Creekside, though.
that might be a good series out there.
Even going break and have coaching.
Kind of made predictions. But
Yeah, I think whoever's up now has a good chance to keep going, keep rolling. I think when you get to the semifinals, to the championship, you'll start seeing more game 3s.
Yeah.
Rather than now.
Mhm.
Maybe some teams will drop out in
yeah,
Jacksonville.
as teams do, all the competition kind of gets more even matched.
Yeah, and the semis and the championship.
Mhm.
It's good stuff. I like this 3-game series thing.
Yeah.
It's new to everybody. I know our coach said he's talked to some Georgia teams because they've been doing it for a while,
Mhm.
and kind of their thoughts of like when to throw guys.
Yeah.
If I was a coach, you never want to save a pitcher for a game.
Yeah.
You know, you always want to win the game, be ahead, and the things like that, which I'm sure most coaches have that. We'll go on a break, and then we'll be joined in here with head coach Calvin Orth of the University Christian. Make sure you guys go check out Carry Apparel. Carry Apparel draws inspiration from positive quotes. On the website, it says, "In life, we go through challenges. Sometimes athletes go through additional life challenges. Carry Apparel strives to keep individuals in a positive mindset. Be ready is the basis of their business. Always be ready because you never know when you are called upon and it's your turn to show your abilities. Be ready in everything you do, whether that's at school, work, or as an athlete. Always be ready." Make sure you guys go check them out on Instagram and check out their website, carryapparel.com. All right, we're joined in here with head coach Calvin Orth for the University Christian out here on his home field. How are you doing today?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Talk about those 2 wins last night, big 2 wins against Rocky Bayou. Kind of tell us about that. We just talked a little bit about the drive. A bit of a long ways, got back late last night. Just talk a little about those 2 games and how the team performed.
Yeah, the drive was that was tough, but like we said, any bus ride just takes a little bit longer than normal. But as far as the game, it was great, boys. We jumped on them early. That's kind of what we've been preaching to them, and so if we can do that, in the next couple rounds, maybe we have a shot to make a run. But boys played well. Pitchers threw a lot of strikes, and it's high school baseball. That's the name of the game. If you can do a couple of those things, you'll be pretty successful. So
Yeah,
boys
I guess
did great.
You're the first coach now that we were able to talk to that has played in one of the 3-game series and
Yeah.
got through it all. You guys only played 2 games because you were
Yeah.
fortunate enough to win both, and you kind of won them kind of easily, 11-1 and 10-0.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
So if you just want to talk a little bit about your thoughts on the 3-game series and how you like that.
Yeah, I think it's cool. We weren't as challenged, and maybe as some of these other teams. Like we were watching Episcopal and Providence
Yeah.
play on the way home and stuff, and they're gonna have a little bit more pitching depth need than we needed. So, but I think it's cool. I think it's great just because it allows teams to use everybody.
Yeah.
You got to challenge your depth. You have to use all of your pitching, and you can't just throw one guy and
Yeah.
maybe ride him or 2 guys all the way to the Final Four. So it'll challenge us next week and
Yeah.
in the future. But I think it's cool. It's kind of simulated Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
You know, to where you get a couple chances to play against the team and the same team too, which is
I think it works.
a lot of strategy.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Last night, 3-game series, great 2 wins. When you're going to play a team that far away, don't know much about them.
Yeah.
5-6 hours away. What's kind of your game plan going into that game? Don't know much about them.
Yeah.
Kind of had a short notice because the game came out on, I believe it was Friday.
Friday,
or Saturday. What was kind of the game plan? What did you tell the team about this team you played last night?
Yeah, that was the tough part, just not really understanding anything about them.
Yeah.
Like you can look at the schedule normally. Like when you play a team here, you can see who do you play, who they played, who they throw, and you kind of know a lot about those teams. But it was kind of going in blind. I didn't know anybody they played, so I couldn't reach. I don't know anybody on the Panhandle, so I couldn't say, hey man, what did they got? What So it's kind of a guessing game. So we over prepared. Practiced like it was the Final Four game, and so we going in, we did get to see their game changer. So we watched quite a bit of film on them. Don't post this so we can watch everybody else's stuff too. But no, that's pretty much how it went. We just didn't we didn't know anything. So we just played it as if they were the New York Yankees.
Talk to me a little bit about UC season this year. I know you guys won 19 games now, I think. We're looking at it. About to have 20 wins, hopefully, this year.
Hopefully.
That'll be a pretty good season looking back at it.
Thank you.
You guys have played a couple of close games against some of the top teams, people say, in Jacksonville, that you were just an inning away, maybe. Talk about the challenges you guys have faced and the ups and downs of the season.
Yeah, thank you. Boys have played really well. It's been an awesome season. We've been successful quite a bit, and like I said, we've been close in all the games. We've been close in the Trinity and Providence and Bowls, and that was one of my goals, is to be one of the top private schools in the area. You guys put out your rankings, and we want to be on the list. I mean, so that's it, but it's been great. Boys have played well. Handle business when we need to handle business, and just a couple hits, couple innings, make a play here and there, and but can't complain, man. The boys have played fantastic, and I'm thankful for all of them. So.
We were actually there at the Trinity game with UC, and we thought, or I thought, you guys were gonna pull away right there at the end, and it just didn't end up going that way.
We were kind of looking. Last year we had a couple signature wins, like me and Coach Josh, our assistant, talk about that a lot. Like we had the Trinity, and then we beat Creekside, and it was like 2 top wins in the city, and we were fired up about it. And it didn't happen fully this year, but we have the opportunity to maybe do that next few weeks.
Let's kind of take a step back a little bit. You went to Episcopal for high school, and then you went to Citadel for baseball the 4 years. Kind of talk about that, kind of the college life that you had for baseball, and kind of talk about your season at Citadel.
So Episcopal, I went there in the 8th grade. It was my first year. I actually started on varsity in the 8th grade when we won the state title in '06.
Sweet.
So it was cool. I got to start then. Played a little right, little second, little third, but really just whoever was pitching that day, I played their position. I just kind of my whole career, I just wanted to hit. That's all I really cared about. So it was a great experience. Coach Jones out of Episcopal, he's there now still with Nick James, helping out with pitchers and everything, and he's like a second dad to me. All the way till now. Talking to him about my faith and coaching and just how to live and everything.
That's awesome.
So Episcopal was great, man. It was awesome. Then I got the opportunity to go to the Citadel, and it was a different experience for sure. Military school, and I remember walking in, and they're yelling and doing all the stuff, and I walked out. I told my mom, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. It lasted about 5 minutes, but actually, funny story too with Citadel. We're doing there. They call it Hell Week, and you go.
Well, there goes the tent.
There's the tent.
Right. It'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be good. so Hell Week, you go, and it was a kid that graduated here. I remember seeing him. He played baseball and got recruited the same year and everything. His name's Cam Grimsley, and he was over there grinding, doing the push-ups and the running and all that stuff. And I was like, man, if he can do it, I can do this.
Yeah.
So pushed through, and as far as the school portion of it, but the baseball is fantastic.
Yeah.
I got to play all 4 years, started a ton of games, and we were pretty successful. So it was great. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell our guys too. Is like, man, if you want to play baseball, it's almost a job when you get to that point.
Yep.
And so you really got to love it. And so that's what I did. And I enjoyed all 4 years that
Yeah.
I was able to play.
And did you coach after that? I know you coached a little bit of travel ball.
Yeah, so I started at Episcopal with
Okay.
Coach Jones. He asked me to come help out. I helped out there for a little while, and then got into travel ball and got out of high school. Just didn't work out as far as my jobs and stuff that I had.
Uh-huh.
So I got out for a couple of years as far as high school ball, but stayed in travel with FCA and some 5-star stuff, and then got in, I think maybe 5 years ago, back with Episcopal.
Yeah.
Then went over to Beachside.
Okay,
Shout out
yeah,
Coach
yeah.
Smitty over
Yeah.
there. I love Episcopal. I
Uh-huh.
love being there, and when I made the change and said I want to be a head coach someday, I wanted to learn from somebody else
Yeah.
and how they did their stuff in their program, how they ran things, so I could learn and kind of figure out,
Yeah.
okay, well, I like this, I don't like this, or I want to implement such and such things. So it ended up working out.
Yeah.
So.
You're good friends with Jonathan Murphy at
Yeah.
at Trinity, and how we actually met was I think he was out of town one weekend. I played travel ball for him,
Yep.
and 13U.
Yeah.
You got pushed in there with a good group of guys. We didn't know you that well, and I think we had a few practices with you, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think we actually won that tournament.
We
I
did.
think it was.
Yep.
That was a fun tournament.
Yeah.
And that's how we met.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think
And
we
all
were
the
Byrne.
guys.
We were
Yeah.
Byrne then?
At the time, it was Byrne.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I didn't have to say a word to
Yeah.
you guys. Just getting them fired up and putting guys in the right spot. That was
Yeah.
about it. Even at a young age, you and some of the other guys
Yeah.
that's still at Trinity, it was just fun coaching.
It was. Yeah.
A lot of talent and just baseball minds. This is great.
As a head coach, and you have worked with the players obviously throughout the whole year on on-field stuff and off-field stuff. You guys have a motto here at UC, or kind of like a theme throughout the season, and like talk about how you're able to coach players off the field as well.
Yeah. So there's no like word or phrase or
Yeah.
anything, but we have tried to learn from every loss that we've had. We kind of look back, and Coach Josh and myself, we've looked at it as, okay, we lost or we didn't do something well. Like, how can we regroup, learn from it, and become better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot, and our guys have kind of picked up on that too. The adjustments from at bat to at bat or inning to inning have been phenomenal. Just because, like, okay, this is not the end. We're not. We try our best not to, like, yell and scream, and we're definitely not cussing at kids
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like we're trying to be better as coaches, and we're not perfect,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
as far as just making adjustments and continuing to get better throughout the season, even when we have a successful season, it's
Yeah.
ultimate goal isn't finished yet. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, second year as a head coach. Last year, I believe you guys had 18 wins. Just checked that. Just coming out here to UC, you came out here being the first year head coach. Beautiful field.
Yes, thank
just
you.
look behind us. Beautiful field.
I drag it every day,
oh, yeah.
make the lines and
Yeah,
stuff. That's all.
probably pretty difficult to get set up for a game. Just talk about the most difficult part coming in as a head coach. New to all the guys here at UC.
Yeah.
What was the most difficult part for you just coming here?
Yeah, so just kind of implementing. That's where I leaned on Coach Murphy, actually. I see him as a mentor to me, just with his experience, and he's been around the game for such a long time and
Yeah.
played at a high level. And I would always ask him, like, hey, man, like, I'm trying to do X, Y, Z with our program, and I wanted to change the culture. I wanted to change things, how we did things, and implement the things that I thought and our coaching staff thought were uh, important to our program, and that was probably the toughest thing. It's just, Coach Sermon did a great job. He's the AD here now, and he did a great job with the program. It's not, I didn't have to pick it up from shambles or anything.
Yeah.
It's a strong program. But as far as implementing some of the stuff that I thought was important and that what our coaches did, and Coach Murphy, he told me, I remember him telling me, like, hey, it may take 2 or 3, 4 years for everybody to buy into what you were trying to do.
Yep.
And winning helps. You win a little bit and guys, start buying in some.
For sure,
But you definitely, and I think we're starting to get it, and we're changing as coaches too, so it's not all the same message as when we first got here, but that's probably it. That and having to share the field with soccer and ball. Yeah, see, the soccer ball, exactly. Sharing the field, like in the fall, we have to share the field with soccer and what else? Middle school football, and sometimes they got JV football practice, and so we kind of have to get everything, utilize every space that we have possibly. So
let's talk a little bit more about this season. What are some goals that you had coming in for this season? Pretty much just the same group of guys as last year. Most of them came back. I think you had a few seniors last year, I believe. Just talk about the goals coming in this season and how it's been going.
Well, first and foremost, we hadn't won a state title since 1990, so that'd be the first thing that we would probably would like to accomplish. After that, as far as statistics, funny, I have a list of things I made at the beginning of the year. Beat one of the top private schools in the area. Win a certain amount of games, batting average, home runs, doubles, all that stuff. ERA, things individually or team-wise, but is individualized. We kind of wrote those down, and we're about halfway there for the goals. We're getting there, So it's but the state title and being one of the top programs is something that we're trying to take pride in and make happen.
Kind of a question we've been asking most people that come on the show, especially the coaches, is there any rules that you would change in baseball if you could change any? For instance, I mentioned in the major leagues, not really at a high school level, but like a designated fielder, someone who could just be on the field and not be in your lineup necessarily. Whether you agree or with the electric strike zones or challenging the calls, whatever it could be.
Right now with our team, I wish we could DH like 4 guys, just have like 11 guys in the lineup. We have a lot of guys that are hitting the ball well, so I wish we could hit more, but that obviously won't change anytime soon. It's funny you asked that. I was watching a game the other day, and I think that the minimal pickoff, like the 2 pickoff moves, each batter I think that's stupid.
I don't really like that either.
I don't know. I just think it's an advantage for the runners. It really doesn't slow the game down that much, really, to be honest with you. And I actually said when I saw this is dumb. I think they need to change this rule. Like, I get the pitch clock and the electric, that could happen. I mean, that's
I
fine.
like it for challenging calls. I would hate it if it was every pitch like that.
Yes, the challenging calls I think is cool. Definitely. But the 2 pickoffs was strange to me. It's like, okay, so if he doesn't pick off, then he goes. You can't step off. You can't do anything. Like it's just.
Then I think after the second pickoff, they call it a balk, right?
Yeah, it's something like that. I don't know
get them out. It's
a
they
balk
get to go.
Yeah, so it's definitely a strange deal, but.
Batting .311 as a team. I have here Bryson Hardage is batting .434 with 7 home runs, and then you got Caden Warmington, which is the dude on the mound, batting .438, 3 home runs. Just kind of talk about what you tell the hitters going up there facing different pitchers. There's a different pitcher every game. Seems like the team's hitting really well this year.
Thank you. Yeah, boys work hard, man. I when I first got here, that was one thing I didn't complain about. The weight room, being in the cage, being on the field. Sometimes I got to tell them to go home because I want to see my family. But they've really worked hard. Bryson has just the last 2 years have been phenomenal for us. You know, I don't have to move him from short and then just stick him in the middle of the lineup and he just hits. And then Warbo, I mean, obviously on the mound he's a stud, but you know, he had 2 home runs this past weekend. Their fence wasn't very far, but it was about a 50-foot net that had to go over as well. So he hammered a couple baseballs, and but you know, we as a team specifically, like we've hit a lot of weak fly balls at the beginning of the year, and so we've tried to cut down as much as possible on that and drive the baseball somewhere. Split the ball in half, hit on a line somewhere, challenge them to make a play on the ground, stuff like that. Just so, you know, catching fly balls pretty daggum easy. So, you know, challenging the defense, making them work a little bit has been something that we've tried to do.
We're gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Last question I usually ask all the guys that come on. What advice would you give, you know, the young players coming out watching these high school games, wanting to play high school or wanting to get to the next level? What would you say to those kids?
Yeah, the young guys, I mean, just continue to work. I mean, I know that's kind of a cookie cutter answer, but continue to work. You know, play different. I like playing different sports. I think that's part of like the arm issue. That those issues that you're seeing nowadays is guys are just playing baseball 365. And I think playing different sports helps guys, helps them move a little bit better. Helps them be more athletic, and also, like when I played basketball and baseball growing up, and basketball, baseball, football. And so you kind of miss baseball.
You
know?
kind of develop more of a love for it.
Right. It's not, oh, okay, well, you know, not all kids, you know, their dads are making them go do stuff, but there you see a lot of times, like, where they're playing baseball so daggone much, and
start to see burnout.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So when you get to this point, you should be loving baseball and really like going towards what you want to do. But some of that stuff I think would be important for a young guy. So.
Head coach at University Christian, Calvin Orr, thank you for joining us, and good 2 wins last night.
Thank you.
Good luck next week, and hopefully further on. Appreciate you joining us, and good luck rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.